Welcome to Real Estate Explained, the podcast that gives you a backstage pass to the ever-evolving world of real estate. I'm your host, Nick Bush, a realtor with over a decade of experience helping clients buy, sell, and invest with confidence. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a seasoned investor, or just curious about the market, this show is for you. Each week, we'll dive into trending topics, break down the latest real estate news, and bring you expert interviews with the pros so you're prepared for every step of the journey. Ready to turn your real estate goals into reality? Keep watching. All right, well, we rolling, man. We got Keith James in the building.
What's up, man? What's up?
Legendary real estate agent in the DMV area and nationwide.
I appreciate that, man.
Something like top 1%, something like that.
Something like that, man. Something like that. We've been grinding, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you for coming on. We got Glendon on here co-hosting today. I'm trying to bring Glendon on the pod.
Okay.
Full time.
That's what's up.
I got him here co-hosting.
What, he's dual career?
Color commentary.
No, Glendon's, he's a lender full
I do
time.
mortgage lending.
Oh, that's what's
So
up. That's
here
what's up.
for the finance lean on things.
Yeah. That's love.
And when it's me by myself, it always turns into like an interview style.
Yeah.
It's better when it's more discussion style. So
That's good.
I'm trying to convince Glendon to be a co-host.
That's what's up, man.
And he got a lot of gems to drop. So
That's dope, man.
it's great. So
He look familiar. He got the familiar face, man.
He does have familiar.
Yeah.
I'm out there. It's the
You look
beard.
like everybody.
It's the beard.
It's the beard.
Yeah.
I can't get my beard to connect.
Everyone thinks it looks like somebody else.
So introduce yourself to the people.
Keith James, 1/3 managing partner of Coalition Properties Group. We started Coalition in 2019. Since 2019, we sold over 1,800 homes, over $800 million in real estate volume. But most importantly, we've donated over $1 million to charity. And that's near and dear to our heart. Our mission statement, be the bridge to our community for all things real estate, lifestyle, and wealth building. And so we're not a transactional company. We're not your average real estate company. You see me with the swag on. I'm not, I am who I am. And we're boots on the ground. We're grassroots. We partner with nonprofits. We make sure our community is moving forward. And that's who we are,
Yeah, that mission statement was always dope. We always trying to, I was always trying to figure out a way, how can I spin that?
Hey, you got ChatGPT now. They're kind of like,
that's
true. Coalition mission statement is this. What can my mission statement be like similar to this? That's your prompt right there.
I'm about to plug it in there and figure it out. But I see y'all really living that, man. Like, you can see it with the clients, with the parties you guys throw.
Yeah.
Y'all throwing like big parties.
Yeah,
Everybody's
man.
having fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you're taking the kids in your own charity. You're taking the kids around the world.
Yeah.
And my son was going. My middle son was going to Two Rivers last year when we were living in DC.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget the high school that's over there, but I had heard somewhere that you guys were doing some curriculum for the high school. So y'all are really like out here doing a lot of outreach and making sure people are getting this real estate information, but also understanding the whole play.
Absolutely,
life, like the life play.
It's important. It's bigger than real estate.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it's bigger than a transaction. For us, it's so much bigger than just real estate. 90% of the wealthiest Americans get their wealth from real estate. There's no need to reinvent the wheel, but there's a lifestyle part to that as well. And when you're trying to do something you've never done before, you can't do it alone. Point blank, period. And we're really big in making sure we're boots on the ground, making sure our face is seen in these communities.
Yeah.
And also from the teenage years, man, that's the thing. We weren't taught none of these things in high school, middle school, about budgeting, about money, about, even mentorship, how to go ask. But the only reason I knew what a mentor was in the 8th grade is because I was in 100 Black Men of America. Okay. My grandfather put me in there. My parents put me in there. And I'm so thankful for that. But even just developing mentors, man, these kids need mentors because they need to see what could be. They need to see it. And if you don't see it, you don't even know it's possible.
Bro, I got a whole separate rant I can go on about. I totally agree. So the team is how's the team constructed?
Yeah.
Shouts to Harrison and Ryan, by the way. How's the team constructed, and where do y'all niche down? Like, where do you feel like y'all niche down?
Yeah, man. So the team is constructed, myself, Harrison Beecher, and Ryan Butler. 3-headed monster, right? And then right now we're at 34 agents, and then we have a director of operations. We have a transaction coordinator that does listings and on the buyer side. And we also have a listing manager now. Shout out to Linda that we just brought on, who's Jamie's sister, which is super cool. Shout out to Jamie too, yeah. So Jamie's a rock star, man. She's a superstar. She's probably, I get on her nerves a lot. I love her. She loves me. And then we have 2 VAs as well. Okay. And so, and a marketing manager as well. We have a marketing manager. So we're rocking and rolling. And when you talk about our niche, man, it's interesting. We've been having conversations, and I'm transparent. I'm an open book. We've been having a conversation about like who's our avatar. I love first time home buyers. Ryan love move up buyers. So we've been trying to figure out who's our avatar as far as location wise. Our headquarters is on Capitol Hill. We cover D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. 2 years ago, we launched the Richmond office, so we're in Richmond, Virginia as well. And also, a year and a half ago, we launched in Philly, so we're in Philadelphia. So kind of going up that 95 coast is important for us. We want to hit the 757. We want to go down to Charlotte,
Yeah.
Shout out 757.
Yes. Oh, okay, that's what's up, man. Yeah, we love Virginia Beach, man. Just continuing every day to just speak the good gospel, man, and really hone in. I feel like right now we're honing in on who our avatar really is. It's been first-time home buyers, and I feel like the buyer, where the market is at right now, man, this is the most buyer's market I've seen since I've been in real estate. You know what I mean? And I'm talking about, we've sold a shit ton of real estate. And so I really feel like, you kind of got to go get who's motivated right now.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, I feel like that too. I feel like you have a client type that you want. I like move up buyer. I love move up buyers because the list side and a buy side, and I love downsizers for the same reason. Yeah. And I like people that are a little more. They already know what's going on, right? You don't have to coach as much. Yeah. And so that's like kind of who I love to work with. But right now, there's so much opportunity for buyers. I'm trying to get a lot of my buyers off the fence because what I'm seeing is. At least in Virginia, not in DC. I haven't been doing that much business in DC this year, but in Virginia, we're in like a 3 to 4 week market where I'm seeing everything sell between like 20 to 25 days. Yeah, and I have buyers like we have a buyer right now who we're going out, we're seeing stuff 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, and I'm like, you got to write on this, and they like folding their hands, and I'm like, yo, do you not know we can get everything right now? Like, don't sit on your hands, like. We can get everything right now. And so I think it's a great buyer's market. Yeah. And I think some buyers are still, I had a buyer call me asking about the interest rate yesterday. And I was like, you don't even need to be like concerned about that. Right. Like, this is the best time to get a deal. Yeah, man.
I it's funny because what I started doing, I started showing my clients what I bought. And I bought a property in 2022 in November. Interest rates were I got a 7.3% interest rate, right? But I tell my clients, like, you don't want the interest rates to be 2% because if you bring me a property, just add $60,000 to it. Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? That's going to be the starting price. Yeah. Right. So I bought this property in November of 2022 for $750. It appraised for $815 before I went to the closing table. Great. If interest rates were 3%, that probably would have went for $850.
Correct. Yeah. Well, and at that point, like if interest rates go from let's say 6.5 to 5.5. Right, but the price point goes up $50K, $100K. You just washed out all the savings. Exactly. You're still actually paying more, even with a lower interest rate, because the value's higher. Exactly. And now you're closer to the bubble of what people think. Oh my God, things might come down. Yeah. Well, the higher it goes, the more likely it's going to come down, right? So you're in a good spot right now. Same thing again when you're talking about with education and really giving people the tools. Mm-hmm. I tell people all the time. 90% of people that capitalized on the 3%, 2% interest rate were already homeowners. Yeah. They refinanced. It was easier to refinance than it was to buy then. Yeah. And so if you're in the game, we talk about this all the time. Like if you're a first-time home buyer, you got to get in the game. It doesn't matter what the entry fee is. It's just getting in the game. And once you can start playing, you'll learn.
That's a good point. And that's how I've been moving my home buyers. I'm like, basically they're like, oh, should we buy right now? Should we sell right now? What if rates come down? Won't the market go up, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's probably gonna go up. Rates come down to 5, the market's gonna go up. But I think I was like, look, it's better to sell now and exit, right? This investment, and maybe not sell at the top, right? Yeah. And then buy your next investment where you can get a deal. Yeah. And then when rates come down, right? When rates come down, you can refinance into the lower rate anyway. But you're gonna benefit. Your equity position is gonna go up. Yeah. Because the market's gonna go up. So and you're already gonna be in the home you're gonna live in for the next 10 to 15 years. Yeah. So basically it's like sell your current asset for value and then buy the next one and just sit and wait for that to go up.
Yeah. I typically, when we on our team calls, whatever is about to happen, I typically feel it first. Yeah. Like
in your own personal real estate.
In my own personal business, right? With the amount of transactions I do. So I'm able to like foreshadow and say, hey, this is coming. You know what I mean? I wanted to ask you, this is one of my questions for you. A lot of my sellers are selling to go rent right now. Are you seeing that or? felt that at all?
So I have a seller that they called me yesterday. We're jumping on the call today.
Yeah.
They're planning to go rent also.
Yeah.
I haven't had too many of it, but I've had a couple people say that.
Yeah, I would say if I had my last 10 listing conversations, 5 of them.
Why are they doing that? What are they saying is happening?
The fear of the unknown in the market, the fear of the unknown in the market, and and it's one of those things where, you can go rent. They don't want the mortgage over their head. If that makes sense.
Like almost they're scared that the market is going to crash.
Apocalypse.
And then I had a seller that went to rent because he's like, he was a single dude. Like, but he's like, man, it's too much maintenance. Like, I'm not trying to deal with it. I'm a rent.
Yeah.
He was military, so he's like, I'm gonna be flexible anyway.
Right.
So we own our house in DC, and we're about to buy another one in Fredericksburg. But I'm almost like, I was just saying this on the last podcast. Like, I'm thinking about just renting. Because in the neighborhood we're looking at, let's just say we're looking at like $700,000. Like, we can, we have a $4,000 mortgage more or less, but we can rent that same house in the same neighborhood for $3,100. And sometimes the delta's even bigger than that. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, all right, well, I can, equity, all of that, all the things tell our clients. I'm just like, I can, pay the extra $1,000 and own my house, or the extra $1,500 on my house, and feel kind of dumb for doing that, right? And not have flexibility unless I'm in the perfect house. Or I can just rent and then invest in real estate. And so I think that, actually, now that you brought that up, I have a third client that is planning to sell and rent. And so I think, from my perspective, so let me talk about the seller that's going to sell and rent. They want to sell $400,000 house and they want to move up. But they want to have a townhouse, they want a single-family house, they want bedrooms, bathrooms, and they want to be in a certain location. And it's like, that location don't cost $3,000. That location costs $4,500 to $5,000.
There you go.
So I think that there's a financial, gap where people can't afford what they want because home prices and interest rates. And then for me, what I tell my clients, I'm like, look, if you're gonna sell to rent, or if you're not going to buy your house and you want to rent, buy real estate. I've kind of had to pull back on the message of like, buy your house, own your house that you live in, et cetera. And I'm just like, I don't care if you own your house or not that you live in. But you need to buy some real estate so you can start building some wealth.
You know my take on that. That you can't afford not to buy.
Correct. Exactly. And I don't know if that's going to be your real estate take.
It's not. That's not my real estate take. I've been thinking about my real estate take. My real estate take is crazy, by the way.
I'm trying to get that message off without sounding like kind of like an asshole. Like,
you can't
afford not to buy.
Here's the other thing that's happening too. That on the finance side, here's the thing we're seeing is that people want to tap into the equity position that they've grown over the last 5 years, but are afraid to get into the market without tapping into it first, right? And so, like, for example, we created a program called Buy Now, Sell Later because a lot of people want to tap that equity, but they can't qualify carrying 2 mortgages. They don't want to buy the house before they sell the house because they want to make sure that they're in a good spot, right? And if they, so that fear of I can't sell this before I buy the next house. I'm just going to rent for a year, see what happens, and then see what the market goes. Maybe put the money into a CD or something, see if I can get a little more money out of it for a short-term period. I guess it makes sense, but at the same time, it's like if there's programs or there's ways that you can tap into that equity, get into that next house, like you said, change the game, still feel comfortable, because affordability versus comfortability are 2 different things, right? You could afford it, but are you comfortable with it? That's where you get.
And we all know emotions can change, but facts stay the same. Right? Emotions can change, and that comfortability, that can be, what are you, actually, the next week it could be something different,
right?
And I think what we do at a high level is kind of making it simple, right? Like, hey, where are you putting your money at right now? Well, Keith, it's just in a savings account. Is that savings account giving you any type of returns? No. All right, let me show you this open bank account, this app. I'm doing it. It's giving 4.3% return. All you have to do is just transfer all of your money into that account. That's a win. That's a small win. Right now, people need small wins. Like getting 1% better every single day. Because a lot of times, they're getting so much information from the media. They're getting so much information from everywhere else. Like, we have to be the first people to get to them and give them that information. So they got that small win, right?
Yeah.
So that's a win. All right, you put your money in that savings account. Okay, I'm gonna get 4% return. All right, here comes the real estate play. And these are the people I talk to that are a year out, by the way. Like, these are nurturers, right? A year out. This is what we're gonna do right now. You're gonna stay in that savings account. You're gonna allocate a certain amount of funds to that. And some agents won't even talk to people that's a year out. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that.
I'm
You
a
know
nurturer.
why? Because you can get referrals from those people still. You know?
For sure.
So that's a small win. You're gonna allocate these funds to that account for a year, right? All right. You need to know what monthly payment you want to pay now and 1 year later, because that's how we're going to shop. We're going to window shop accurately.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't
You
window
do a
shop
lot of
accurately.
window shopping, right?
A lot of window shopping.
Okay.
My clients they have to go through a window shopping phase before they can go out to go see homes.
Explain that. Why is that necessary?
Yeah, break that
Because-
down.
So, all right, Nick, you come to me, you say, I want to buy a house in 8 months, right? You're really going to get out to start looking at homes in 5 months,
Yeah,
right? Because you're going to be closed by that 8 month.
exactly.
You're going to get connected to a lender today, because I need you to know, if you come to me and say you want to pay $3,500 a month, I need you to know today what a $3,500 a month property look like,
Exactly.
based on how much you want to put down.
Yeah.
So I'm going to connect you to the lender today, so you can take that blindfold off. Here's another thing too. Guess what? When you go to open houses, I'm going to put you on an open house plan. You're going to go to 2 open houses, at least 2 to 3 open houses a week, until it's time for you to go out to shop.
Okay.
All right, we got price, location, suitability.
Yeah.
By the time that 5th month comes, for you to be able to go out to go look at homes, you're going to already know your price. You're going to already know location. That suitability, all you're going to be doing is going in to walk into that house to make sure that house is suitable for you.
That's interesting. I do that in a different way. So let's say my average client's like 6 months out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, connect with the lender right now.
Yeah.
We're mortgage payment shopping.
Yeah.
We're not like home price shopping.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I don't have them go to open houses, which I'm about to add to my game now. But I kind of, just based on the wants and needs list, you know what they're looking for, right?
Yeah.
And so you just have them on an auto search.
Yeah.
And then they're just like saving homes, throwing some homes away. So as the agent, you kind of know, like, all right, this is what they're looking for. This is what they want.
Yeah.
And so when we go out that first time, usually we're finding the home the first time. So I
Yep.
basically am like, all right, we're not about to like do a lot of like 30 home shopping, 10 homes a lot.
Nah.
I'm like, that first group, like we know that everything we're walking into
Yeah.
is something that you really want. And then
Absolutely.
most times with the first showing, I'm like, oh, okay, this is what you really want. Like, then you kind of get to play like,
Right.
all right, this is what you're looking for.
Yeah, no, our clients write their first offer in the first 2 to 4 homes they see, because we
Yeah.
do a lot on the front end, right?
You got
And
to.
You got to, man, especially in today's market, because you can get house fatigue. You already got all this media coming at you telling you can't afford shit, right? Now you're going out looking at homes and you need to see 15, 17 homes before you write an offer? Absolutely not, man. You're
Yeah,
going to get
doesn't
house
make
fatigue.
sense.
And you're going to lose confidence.
You're going to lose a lot
You're
of
like, man, I'm
confidence,
not seeing anything that I want.
Yeah, you get beat up, man. It's a battle every time.
It's a
and
battle.
then you start questioning what you want or why you want it. When, like you said, if you set that up ahead of time where it's like, you know what you want, you know why you want it, and you know where you want it. Like,
Absolutely.
let's go get it.
Absolutely.
Makes
Are
sense.
you? I'm not in any multiple offers. Are you seeing that for your buyers? How are you explaining? I'm like explaining to my buyers, like, this is the time this is the takeover. Like, we can get whatever we want out here.
Yeah.
How's it?
Whatever we want. We get whatever we want.
you want.
What are you seeing? Because you're doing a lot of deals.
Yeah, man. So I do believe that you can get more of what you want now than you ever could before.
Yeah.
That is the truth, right? I am still seeing multiple offers in that 500,000 and below price range.
Okay.
Right? We got to think, over the last 3 years, the average homeowner, the average buyer, shopper, lost their buying power, went down by $100,000 due to interest rates, right? So on that 500,000, people that were looking at 700, they're now down to like 600, 500,000, right? I am still in PG County, I'm seeing the multiple offers, right?
Yeah.
Northern Virginia, I'm definitely seeing the multiple offers.
Okay.
DC, that's where that takeover is happening at right now.
I'm seeing multiple offers. It was interesting because I was in the house with Charnita, and I was like walking around the house, and I was like, bro. I told her though, I was like, it was 610. It was listed at 610. It was on the market 23 days, and I said in 2021, this house would have sold in the weekend.
Oh yeah,
70K over.
Yeah.
And they would have 14 offers.
Easy.
I said, this is on the market. We need to
DC?
get to it. In Virginia.
Oh, in Virginia? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
what I'm seeing and what I'm telling my sellers is I'm like, look, homes that are the cream of the crop, like you got to paint. You got to stage. We got to do it the right way.
You got to.
Otherwise, you're going to sit on the market.
Yes.
Right? And so I'm seeing houses that are still like cream of the crop and like fully ready.
Yeah.
Those are selling at multiple offers and over list price.
Yeah.
But the homes that are kind of, in between that, they're sitting and we taking over.
100%. 100%.
Well, and this is what I've been, to your point, like I think, it's a balanced market in the fact that I think that, agents have become way more valuable recently.
Yeah.
Where you have to market the house right, you have to list it right,
Yeah.
you have to do the things, you got to do the pre-listing conversation about what needs to be done. Otherwise, it does sit. And then what happens, what I've seen a lot lately, is the adjustment is at like 21 days, 3 weeks or so. And then there's multiple offers on the price reduction or the adjustment. Right?
Oh my God!
I'm writing letters on Sunday, and
Ding,
I'm like,
ding, ding, ding.
they're gonna get this, they're gonna get that, and then all of a sudden they lost everything because there's multiple offers on that adjustment. Whereas if that agent had listed it right originally, there's multiple offers the first weekend, right? It's this adjustment period where there's opportunity for both buyers and sellers based off of the agents and the representation that they're getting, the education, the preparedness that they're coming to the market with, I think is everything right now.
Man, that's so crazy you just said that. Why? Because you hear what we're talking about. It's the takeover, right? It's the takeover. Everybody's saying that, to be honest with you. I literally just had a listing, and I know I priced it right. I know it, right? And as soon as I called the seller on Thursday, and I said, we need to drop this price. We dropped the price, just $5,000.
Yeah.
$5,000, that's it. We had 3 offers come in.
Oh, wow.
3 offers come in, right? Now, they still, 2 of them still tried to hit me over the head, right?
Of course.
But everybody wants a deal.
Yeah.
As soon as the MLS hit that price drop, that's where they're looking at now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kid you, like, it's funny you say that. That price drop, and agents got to be quicker to get that price drop earlier. It's not 30 days anymore.
It's 2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks, I think it's going to be the new thing.
2 weeks, man.
Like I said,
2
the
weeks.
21 days has been recent. I think it's going to go down to 2 weeks. And I think, like you said, I think that you have to educate your client ahead of time and say, hey, look, if this goes 7 days, we're gonna hit hard on an open house, and then after that, we're taking this thing down 5K, 8K, whatever it is.
Sorry to cut you off.
No,
I explain to my clients, I have a house that's like overpriced right now, but it's like I kind of had to do it, right?
Yeah.
And it's not overpriced. It's listed at $625. I would like it at $599 to like drive multiples and drive the traffic, but it should probably be somewhere like $615, right? $610 to $615.
It should be $599.
I know it should be $599.
Yeah.
But if my client sees this, 'cause what's $615, right? Sitting in the middle. So I'm like, it should be $599. But I tell my clients, I'm like, look, how are we gonna know your house is overpriced? We're gonna know your house is overpriced if you get no showings, or if you get a ton of showings and no offers. Those are the signals. And so right now we're in the no showings boat. So I think I'm gonna get my price reduction. But So you're doing like 100 deals a year, like just individually?
Yeah. I'm trying to cut that down to like around 75, 80 mark.
Why you want to cut it down?
Because I just want to lead generate from my agents. I want to give my agents more deals and make sure they're eating.
Yeah, and your 100 is like high buy-side deals, right?
Yeah, well, it used to be like 90% on the buyer side out of 100 deals. Now it's more, I think I'm more 70-30 now.
70-30,
Yeah.
so 70 buy-side deals. So, listings, leads, leverage.
Yeah.
You're like one of the top agents like in America, top 1%.
Yeah.
But you just are like, nah, I'm staying on the buy side. Like,
Yeah,
I know
man.
you guys are big MREA heavy
We
too.
are.
So why have you not made the shift? Why are you staying on the buy side?
I made the shift, but what a lot of people don't understand is that, man, I started real estate 2017. Like, I'm still like a newer agent, so to speak. Real estate's like dog years, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But a lot of my buyers, they weren't selling. So I didn't have that clientele of, a bunch of sellers. Now, what I did do, and shout out to my business partner, Ryan, he was like, Keith, all you got to do is change your messaging.
Yeah.
Because I'm heavy on social media. Now, once I started to change my messaging to my sphere and to putting it out there in the world that I do list homes, the listings did come, But I also, it's funny because, I go against the grain a lot. I also believe you can get the same amount of leads from buyers, word of mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Like literally, I do believe that if you create an experience, a 5-star experience for your client on the buyer side, they are going to refer the hell out of you.
Yeah.
And they are going to be a raving fan. We teach a class called How to Create Raving Fans.
I know. I got to pop into that class.
Yeah, man. Like we do that. Like we get heavy referrals from our buyer clients. And at one point in time, it was more referrals from buyers than we got from listings. We tracked that.
So yeah, because your people love it. So this is the thing, right? When I started and I told you this, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Here we go. It's the honest part.
Yeah.
Let me be honest real quick.
No, it's a good thing though, right? I was solo, and then I was like, man, I want a partner, but I wanted a business partner more for like the ops side, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to do any paperwork. I realize now that all I needed to do was hire, which I've done, right?
Yeah.
Instead of like getting a partner. But part of the inspiration for having a partner is because y'all make this like, they make it look so cool,
Thank
you know?
you,
Because they're like real friends, real family.
Yeah.
Like the culture is dope. And
Yeah.
then they throwing these parties at the end of the year that is ridiculous. Like this is
Yeah.
like
But that-
Park nightclub coalition party. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, Park got those levels.
The clubs be hitting us up like, yo, come throw a party at the club.
Yeah.
You know, these are like our client events, like past clients appreciation events, you know,
Yeah.
what we do for our clients.
So how have you been able to develop that relationship with your clients? Like what are the things that y'all are actually doing tangibly to develop like Raven fans?
I mean, it goes back to the mission. Be the bridge to our community for all things.
Yeah.
Like all things. Real estate, lifestyle, and wealth building. Yeah, we're going to help you buy a house. But do you own a business? You know how many people I've hired, like how many clients I've hired if we had an event to put decorations, balloons, set up their tables at our events to promote their business. I'm going to, show love to my people because they're trusting me with one of the most horrifying experiences that they thought it was going to be with purchasing and selling a house. And I've made that super easy for them, right? So yeah, we're going to help you buy a house. But the wealth building, the more education you have, the more peace of mind you're going to have going through the process. Point blank period, whether you're selling a house or buying a house or investing, right? Our clients that thought that they were going to buy one house and that's it. We educated them so much to where they called me back in 6 months or 7 months. Like, hey, Keith, is it true that my appreciation has went up like X amount of dollars? I think I want to buy another property in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
Can you help me with that? Because we have continued to educate them after the consultation, after the closing. Like we stay engaged with our clients, and we love on our clients. I'll read you this. One of my clients sent out a happy 6 months email, right? And she said, and she's bought before she met me, right? I said, happy 6 months. If there's anything you need since you moved into your new home, please let me know if you need anything, yada, 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 right? She said, Keith, thank you for checking in. I'm very happy with the apartment, and I honestly feel like it was one of the best decisions I made. She bought a condo in Northern Virginia, right?
Yeah.
I appreciate your support, and the entire team helped throughout the process. You're my favorite realtor to work with.
Boom.
You know what I mean?
She
That's
locked
awesome.
in. Yeah.
She locked in.
Yeah.
That's a Raven fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And guess what? She referred me a client that just bought up the street in a new construction. I was passing. I'm like, yo, I sold the house over here like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And that new construction right up the road, Fairfax.
Yeah.
And like that's the type of engagement. That's the type of relationship we want with all of our clients, man. Relationships will take you places money can't.
So I want to follow up with that because I've got another question that I think that's awesome. And it's amazing as an individual agent, but I think it's unfathomable and crazy to think that you guys do it as a three-headed monster, like you said earlier.
Yeah.
So how did that start to be aligned that much on the same mission with two other people, and then to continue to do it? Because we've all had partnerships, and shit's hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard,
Yeah.
especially when ego comes in and
Yeah.
everyone's got their own way to do things.
Yeah.
So just give me a little breakdown of how that started and grew and how you guys stay pretty solid.
So I'll rewind. Harrison Beecher, he's like, we call him the grandfather. He started out in real estate 2009, right? Mm-hmm. One of the most selfless people I know. One of the most, like, big heart, right? Harrison Beecher brought Ryan Butler into real estate. Ryan came into real estate in 2016, right? Selfless, willing to help. Hey, open book, here you go. Ryan brought me into real estate 2017, right? I'm like the grandchild, you know? And it's crazy because I was in corporate America and I was moving up the corporate ladder, doing very well in corporate, and real estate was my passion. I started buying real estate at the age of 23, and I started helping my friends buy real estate, not even being an agent. But Ryan saw that, and Ryan was like, yo, you need to come and get into real estate. Like, you can do this way better than I ever could. Like, you can really do this. And he had just won Rookie of the Year.
Wow.
Right? And so I'm like, nah, got a full-time job. I don't want to, that's like commission-based. I'm good on that, right? All of a sudden, like, I started to see how he was moving. I'm like, this kind of look cool. I end up getting my license 2017, right? This is 2017. People thought we were on the same team. Harrison, Ryan, and myself, people thought we had a team before we even had a team because we were so locked in.
Gotcha.
Ryan is also my fraternity brother. Ryan and Harrison played football together. Now, it's very unique at Georgetown. They went to Georgetown, they played football together, right? It's very unique that three guys could come together, and you said the word that I think one of us, like all of us had to like, we never had this, ego. Like we check our egos at the door. Like I sincerely want to see them succeed. They open up their books and say, hey, Keith, this is how you do it, right? Another thing is that we're also all athletes. Like it's nothing for Ryan to check me like, yo, what's up? Like you're not getting this done. Like, can you get this done? And me not take offense to it and be like, yo, why you checking me? Like I just sold 150 homes last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, like check me. That's hold me accountable.
Yeah.
And I think in the world today, people do not want to be held accountable.
Facts.
That's why partnerships go to shit.
Facts.
Whether it's on the budget, whether it's on whatever, like socially, like people do not want to be held accountable. And I think, like I can tell Ryan, like we can check each other. Like seriously, like check each other like, yo, you need to get this done. That's grown men. You know, and that's tough in the world today, but like you gotta have that in the business. And that has trickled down throughout the company, that accountability piece, and it's made us who we are, and it made us successful outside of being friends, and we just don't check each other on real estate. We check each other on financials, budget, all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I want to get into your rental portfolio a little bit because I know you guys are also coaching your clients to buy real estate.
Absolutely.
So if you want to disclose, like, how many properties do you own? Like, are they all in this area? Do you do anything out of state? Just like kind of break it down a little bit.
Yeah, so I have 180 doors. I have some commercial units too down in Georgia that myself and my business partner we've partnered with.
Oh, you got the Ryan deal?
Yeah,
okay.
those deals. I got my one and twosy portfolio here in DC, single family, a couple of multifamilies, and all that good stuff in the DMV area. I used to have a portfolio in Mississippi. I grew up in Mississippi.
Okay.
I started buying in the neighborhood I grew up in at the age of 23 because I wanted people to see, people that look like me to say, hey, we don't always have to be tenants, we can also be landlords, right? And I sold that portfolio and dumped it here in the DC.
You 1031'd it?
Yeah. No, I did not 1031 it.
Okay.
Right? Which was crazy because that's where the education come in.
Oh, you didn't know about,
I was like, 1031, I want to take this cash and then buy.
Yeah.
But I should have 1031.
And so if someone's like, you know, if you say, for us, we're in real estate, so we're like, okay, right?
Yeah.
But if you tell someone like I got 180 doors, they think Keith must have, you know, 20 million that he could just invest in properties and make it happen. So how did you end up being able to even buy all of those homes? Like, what's the financing aspect? Because, you know, it's expensive to buy real estate. It can be expensive to buy real estate.
You know what's funny is that the syndication deal is a whole another complex thing. Like, we raised money. We raised about $4 million to go buy 100 doors in Douglasville, Georgia, and then we bought 68 doors in Augusta, Georgia as well. Like my one and twosy portfolio, like my personal portfolio in the DMV, it was kind of that don't overthink it. Like, if you can pencil out, if it hits your buy box, buy it. I also did, like, I would buy 2 properties every year. That was my thing. Because you got to think, I was nervous, man. Like, when you never had money before, you're like, dang, like, I don't want to lose it, right? So I'm like, let me just dump it into real estate. Like, I was so thankful I had that.
Oh, that was like your bank.
That was like my bank.
Okay.
That was like my savings account, right? And so you also know lenders don't have loves for 1099 employees, right?
Love, bro. I do. I got love for all the 1099
lenders. I mean, I was just like, man, I just made this money. Like, I can afford this, you know, $400,000 house. You know, they want everything. But what I was doing was I would put 5% down, move into this house, 5% down, move into another house, right? And just keep doing that, replicating that. Okay. And then Then I would once that ran out, I would do the 20% down, and I would do a couple of HELOCs here and there, and I would always try to not pull from my savings, and kind of pull from my portfolio. And then I learned this thing about, and this is kind of being in the right place at the right time, and also leaning on your village. My financial planner, Matt Aaron, he was like, "Yo, you can pull a line of credit against yourself, and your portfolio will still be working for you in the market. You can just use that line to go buy and renovate these properties, and you're kind of becoming your own bank. You got all this stuff in your portfolio, like use that, right?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "What you mean?" And so Matt will come over my house and do a whiteboard session with me, a 30-minute whiteboard, because I have to visually see it, right? And so when he said, I said, I'm kind of winning before I even buy anything because of the yield on the delta on the rate. And so I started pulling out line of credit against myself and leveraging my portfolio that way.
That's great.
And buying more deals.
That's great.
And you can't tax debt.
Exactly. You can't tax that.
When you sell 150 homes, we all know what that looks like at the end of GCI.
Well,
your financial planner will come to the crib and whiteboard session with you, right? You got to get there, my guy.
I really believe in like being financially disciplined. Like, my parents were in survival mode. We weren't at the table talking about 1031 exchanges and say a 4% savings account to put your money into. My mom was in survival mode. She did what she had to do to make it happen. I'm thankful for what she did to make it happen. And so now that I have the knowledge, man, I just want to use all my resources, use all my people, and I don't mind being vulnerable with my business, man. I was like, hey, I'll say, hey, I'm bleeding in this, right? Who do I know that can help me with this, man?
Yeah. And
I think being vulnerable with your business will take you a long way, man.
I think that's a good point. And we had this conversation. I think I called you frustrated one day, like 6 months ago. And I'm just now getting into the point where I'm like, all right, let me buy some investment properties. Like I'm a little clearer than I want to, right? So next year I have a plan.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why are you now versus how long you been doing real estate?
This is my 9th year.
Think about that, right? You've been telling everybody they need to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
But it's all right here. I want to hear that.
I think because I found my play, right? Like I think I was, so for the first, my burn has been slow. You know? So like for the first like 4 years, I was like trying to figure it out. And then I took off. And then when I first made my first like money, I did what people do. I didn't invest it the right way. I don't think I bought anything too crazy, but I didn't do what I was supposed to do.
Right.
Then I had my partnership. Then last year was like the bounce back year. So it's just been like a lot of things. But I found my play. Like, okay, this is what I'm gonna invest in. Like, am I bringing 20% to buy 400? That's not really like that's not really like the flavor. It's like I'm gonna go to a cheaper market. Like I like Ohio, Tennessee, where the price point is like Baltimore. But it's just a different. It's not as like dangerous as Baltimore, right? It's just more blue collar. And so I think I just found my play. And the other important thing is I had like a goal that didn't mean anything. And now I have a goal that actually means something and I have a reason. So I think for me personally, it's hard to move without like a true mission.
That's 1,000%
true,
man.
I can't get on the court and be like, I'm gonna go drive 50.
Yeah.
It's like, why I'm driving 50? Like, what? Because then there's things you have to do to be able to make that happen.
Yeah, man.
And now I've figured out how to clear the path because I have a real goal.
That's powerful.
Yeah. But
there's also some new roads that are paved now, right? Like when you started doing that in 2017, 2018, the DSCR program wasn't as popular as it is now.
You get that info,
Where, again, to your point, 1099, self-employed, may not have had the easier route to investing in real estate that they do now. I do a lot of those programs now where it's like, I don't care about your income. I don't care about your tax returns. I don't even care about your employment. I just want to see a good credit score. We want to see assets or reserves. And we want to see that the property can cover the mortgage. That's it.
So what would you say? All right, so to question for both of y'all, really like part of my hurdle, I don't want to call it hurdle, but part of my reasoning for just wanting to rent is I'm like, man, I'd just rather buy investment properties, get to a certain like net cash flow, and then really like buy and live in what I want, right? So I'm like not even that like.
What's wrong with that? I'm
not even that eager to like buy a primary because I'd rather take my 5% or 10% down and just buy a few investment properties and then have the ability to do what I want. So like, what do you think? What do you think about that idea?
So I would equate it to the game of Monopoly, right? Like you talk about Monopoly as like the financial game of life, right? Everybody's got a different strategy. Not everybody wants to buy a house, put a hotel on one property. Some people want to acquire a few pieces on the board first and build it up. And then once you have more pieces that you feel comfortable with, where I got income coming in from multiple places, now I can invest into this place I want more and feel better. It's just different strategies. I think it's just kind of a choose your own adventure, right? The biggest takeaway from that, I would say, is do one of them. Don't do nothing, right? True. Don't just go around the board and collect that $200 at go. Do something. Get on the board and play. Whatever it is you're going to do, whether you're buying investment properties or you're investing in your primary residence, whatever it is, get in and play the game and learn.
Yeah.
I gotta mess up the microphone. Make sure it's right. Testing. No, I'm just messing with you. Man, it's funny, like, when you understand, like, the numbers of, like, okay, where you can put your money at and make money. Like, it's crazy to fathom that if you put your money in the market and you're getting an 8% return, you're doing amazing, right? But with real estate, you could put your money somewhere and get 30%, 40% cash on cash return, right? I would say, man, there's nothing wrong with the strategy that you want to do, because you're going to continue to have a shield, right? You're going to continue to have a tax shield, which is super important for people like us, the tax shield. That's the game that we need to be playing and talking about. We don't talk about that tax shield game, right?
That's important.
That's super important, because Uncle Sam is going to get his one way or another, right? Yeah. So how many shields and how many avenues can we set up to pay less money in taxes at the end of the year, right? So there's nothing wrong with your strategy, just as long as you know what your math is, and if your buy box makes sense for that math and it's working, man, go do it. Yeah, go do it for sure.
That's what I think I'm gonna do, because I'm not finding anything that I want in the market. I'm just like, unless we build, so I just want to be like, man, I just want to be able to. My thing is, I just want to be able to do whatever I want, and so it's like, you know, because I told my wife and I, we're like, this time let's buy slow. Last time we bought, like, I was like, rates about to go up. Let's buy, like, we're going to buy. And we liked the house, but it needed a renovation. We probably took on more than we could handle at that time. Yeah. And so now, like, it's like, let's buy slow, right? Let's, like, really take our time and find something. And so we're going into houses all the time. And, like.
You need an agent? Huh? It sounds like you need an agent. I would love to work with you. You know,
to help me figure out what I'm looking for, right? We walk into houses, and then we go back to the crib, and, like, you know, I'm like, you like the house? And it, like, we'll like it in the moment. And then we'll think about it for like 2-3 days. Yeah. And we'll be like, And so I'm like.
You sound like some clients, man.
I do. I do all my, you know, what do they say? A lawyer that represents himself as a fool. Yeah. This is my issue. When you know the game too much, you play it differently. But so how are you, because you work with a lot of first-time home buyers. Yeah. And then you turn them into investors, real estate investors. Yeah. So that's a lot of education and like trust. Like, you have to really convince them, like, to believe. Not convince them, that's the wrong word, but you have to make them feel like they can believe to do that after not owning anything. Yeah. So how are you, what's that conversation like?
Man, it's super organic. You know what I mean? A lot of our business is organic. You know, our partnership is organic. And so it's mainly in that buyer consultation. Like, that buyer consultation is super important, because we're not just asking right now questions. We're asking, what will this purchase do for you 5 years from now? What are your goals? And so when I'm not a hey, you want to buy a house, let's go see a house type of realtor. Yeah. I'm like, I do a buyer consultation with all of my clients. I sit down, I talk with them, and I ask them questions, and I want them to get to know me better, right? So that's kind of breaking down that wall to have them communicate what are they looking to do. Now, half of my clients are like, I just want to buy one property, right? And that's it. The other half is like, I want to buy a property, but I want to start investing in real estate. Right? Because that's the messaging we put out there to the world. In that consultation, I just show them what we've done. I show them what previous clients have done. I show them what I've done in real estate and how this is possible, right? It's not a lot of times people make this real estate thing so complicated. You have so many real estate gurus on Instagram and all over that, I mean, it gets on my nerves, and they make it complicated. Yeah. Here's how to buy 6 doors in 18 months. You go buy a 4-unit building, you put 3.5% down, you live in 1 unit, rent out the other 3, right? 6 months, you go buy a single-family home with a separate entrance basement. You can either live in that basement or live at the top and rent out the basement. These are the numbers. This is what you're going to cash flow.
Yeah.
This is what, on a single family in this neighborhood, this is what the equity is going to be, could potentially be based on historical numbers. It's just, that's as simple as that.
Just breaking down the
Just
play.
break it down to play.
Yeah.
Right? And not making it overcomplicated for them. You know what I mean? And I show them the properties and what it looks like. If it needs renovation, you can go get a 203K loan, a renovation loan from the lender. You can get the acquisition and the construction cost and do that play.
Yeah.
And run it like that, right? I don't want you over leveraged. I like to hit base hits. I don't like to hit swing for the fence, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to hit swing for the fence, hit a grand slam. I like to just get on base. Tony Gwynn went to the Hall of Fame like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm
batted
a
1,000
guy too. Yeah,
absolutely, man. And so that's kind of how I break it down in that buyer consultation.
that's solid, bro. That's solid.
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
Glendon's like, sometimes I feel like I don't want to step over Glendon.
No.
Like he's just over there chilling.
No, it was good, and you're absolutely right. I think that's the way. That's the way that. I mean, you broke it down perfectly. You know, my point to you, and what you said before too, like it's just math.
It's just
right?
math, man.
The rest of it's the emotional side of it that we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like, but the more that you can educate someone on, like, hey man, this is just math. Like,
Yeah.
like here's the ROI,
Yeah.
here's the cash flow, here's the numbers. Are you comfortable with it? Can
Right.
you make that push? And that's the question, right? Like with your situation, right, where it's like rent versus buy, investment versus primary. It's all math.
Yeah.
The question is just what lane do you want? What comfort level do you have? Where are you willing to push yourself? To your point, like 6 doors in 18 months, super doable if you do the stuff. Right?
Yeah.
If you do the math, if you get good counsel, if you make good decisions, and you follow the plan.
Yeah, I mean, you don't become a world-class leader by doing things occasionally, right? You become a world-class leader by doing things consistently. Like, that's really what it is, right?
Yeah.
And when you're consistent on getting base hits, you can look up 10 years like, oh my God, I built this portfolio.
Bro,
You know what I mean?
I've been trying to tell my, just basically like my brother I knew since I was 6, my best friend in life.
Yeah.
He's a flipper. But he's in his first flip after like 7, 8 years. But I've been telling him like, bro, like, and he was a real estate agent. And he had a year where he did like 5-6 million. And for him, that's like really, I mean, for anybody, that's solid.
Good business.
But that's solid. And I was like, bro, you need to do this to like stack bread to buy a flip. But he keeps trying to like hit a grand slam and like find a deal and then find somebody that will basically finance the entire deal, and then he makes bread on the back. And I was like, bro, ain't nobody that got a couple $100,000 is dumb enough to do that. Like, they're not gonna just put up all the bread because you found a deal. But he's like a grand slam guy, and I've told him this 1,000 times so I can talk about him on here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, you gotta go base hits, and that's he like whatever, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway,
home run and then,
but the base hit is the way to go. It's just like I told my man yesterday, like, bro, you need a layup at first.
That's it.
And then you can, go crazy.
That's it.
I might come out and shoot some threes though.
Yeah. No, man.
So what does every home buyer and home seller need to know about the real estate market right now?
I would say study the market first, right? You need to study. Let's talk about the buyer side. The buyer side is know what your budget is first, right? Know what you want to spend. Know what type of house you want. Because a lot of times, I know my clients, before they get to me, they're searching for homes that they think they'll look on Redfin and look on Zillow, and they'll see the monthly payment, and they think that's the actual monthly payment to that house. But, those sites don't factor in the mortgage interest and the taxes, all that good stuff. So you need to really know what your budget is, right? Understand, like, why are you buying? Like, why do you want to buy? What's your goal? Oh, Keith, I don't want to rent. Okay, you don't want to rent no more? Let's find you something that's in budget, that's going to appreciate over time. And also, too, for some buyers, don't be afraid to buy where it's hood adjacent. Like like hood adjacent. Don't be afraid to buy in those areas because those areas are going to change eventually.
That's where those 4 units are.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And so, like, just coming up with a plan on the buyer side, the market, interest rates are higher than they were. The average interest rate since 1993 is 8.4%, right? Like, you can get a 6.5%, you can get a 6%, but there's also, hey, do you know what a 2-1 buy down is? You can do a 2-1 buy down. I can actually get closing help from the seller right now to buy down your interest rate for the first 2 years, and you can pay a 4% interest rate the first year, a 5% interest rate the second year, and you can go back to your regular interest rate that third year. But guess what? In the meantime, if rates come down, you can refinance. So 2-1 buy downs are super important right now. And that should be a clip on the reel. That should be my real clip right there.
Grace, clip that out.
For sellers, right?
Yeah.
Like, why are you selling? Why are you selling? Do you want to sell to? Now, here's the crazy part. Do you want to sell to buy or do you want to sell to rent? Like, are you trying to get out of the area? Like, what are you looking to do, right? What you trying to accomplish, right? How much equity do you have? Like, if you think, like, I tell agents, like, we tell our agents, like, whatever your client think their price should be, is actually 5 to 10% below what it is. Literally. And that's where you need to be pricing properties. And sometimes that's a hard conversation for sellers because they saw 2 doors down in 2021 get $75,000 above list price.
Yeah.
Well, we're not in that market no more.
Right.
So if that's what you're looking for, it's not going to happen right now.
Yeah. It's why about $599.
Yeah, you feel me? It should be $599, right? Not $615.
Right to $599.
And another thing, and this, I'm big on quotes, man. When it comes to the real estate market, hard conversations equals an easy life. Easy conversations equals a hard life.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to have those hard conversations now, right? Because if you gain a client in this market, they're going to stay with you forever.
Yeah.
But if you lose a client in this market, they're gone forever. Like, that's really real. And if you can't have the hard conversations and create a vulnerable space for your client to be able to have that hard conversation with your client about the market and what's going on, they're going to go to the next person.
Boom.
So that's how I feel about it.
That's game from an $800 million in sales agent, 150 houses, 100 to 150 houses a year. Basically, since you got in the game, since so those are real gems that you should follow.
Thanks, man.
So many times I could have just I wanted to get into a real estate nerd conversation.
But
it would have been selfish for me. So thanks for joining us, bro. I appreciate it. Any last words, Glendon? Any last questions?
No, appreciate you, man. That was some wise words and great bullets, some great clips. We'll have some good reels out of that.
Where can they find you?
Lots of nuggets. There you go.
Yeah, man. I got on the swag, Coalition Properties, man. But our team is Coalition Properties on Instagram. My personal Instagram is Keith James Realtor. That's kind of where I spend most of my time is on Instagram. So go follow me, Keith James Realtor. CoalitionPG.com website.
All right. Shouts to Keith, bro. Appreciate you, bro. We out.